The dairy vote could be crucial to the presidential election. Pennsylvania and Wisconsin rank as some of the most likely tipping points this year. Bjerga with the National Milk Producers Federation joins us now to review some of their main priorities. Alan, good Friday morning. From the trade to pandemic, it's been kind of a unique year for the industry. What is the dairy economy most focused on heading into the next year, 2021?
Well, the big point is just like for everyone else, we're not out of the woods yet in terms of potential disruptions to the economy and to the supply chains. As long as the COVID-19 pandemic is hanging over us, that leads to a lot of uncertainty in terms of restaurant sales, in terms of distribution to schools, in terms of how people get the dairy products that they want and need. And that's the sort of thing that weighs on prices. If you take a look at the projections for margins under the Dairy Margin Coverage Program, again, that's the main safety net for dairy farmers, in which farmers can essentially buy an insurance policy against price squeezes, basically between the price of milk and the price of their input costs. You see payments being triggered for several months of 2021 right now. Now, this is key for producers as they go into the sign-up period for this program. We certainly are strongly encouraging folks to take a look at the highest levels of coverage. We found during the darkest months for dairy prices in the COVID-19 pandemic, the DMC for your first 5 million pounds of milk was a really effective way to have risk management right there when you needed it. And even for larger producers, you have very affordable catastrophic level coverage, which basically protects you against a black swan event such as what we saw with COVID-19. So risk management is going to be very important for the uncertainty in this economy next year, and farmers should be looking very closely at taking advantage of some of those tools.
Alan, where do you see federal assistance then going forward? Do you see this continuing?
Well, it looks like we're going to be getting some good news here today. There's reports that there's going to be some additional purchases this year of the Farmers to Families Food Box program, which has been pretty effective in terms of keeping supply chains going and being sure that consumers get the products they need for themselves and their families. There was some thought that potentially an additional round of funding was going to be needed to continue supporting this program through the end of the year. It appears that USDA is going to be able to administer it. And that's going to be, again, good news for those supply chains. Now, going forward, the question becomes, will there be an additional stimulus bill? This is all about political realities. Sometimes we say close, sometimes we say not close. The elections of November 3rd are going to have a big say over the size and scope of any package there. Again, this is what makes your existing risk management tools like the DMC so important. Those have already been created and are in operation. Congressional assistance is potentially on the table in the next months and years, but you can't count on it the same way as something that's already been enacted. And again, that's why risk management tools are very important to be looking at.